Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the podcast of Action Require Media. Here we are dedicated to discussing hard truths and finding remedies for our problems. On this platform, we will stay engaged on all happenings in Mama Liberia, not limited to politics, religions, development, economy, security, crimes, war on illegal drugs, employment, youth, growth, and food production. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Action Require Media. Here we educate, entertain, and empower. Here we're going to be discussing some meaningful information about Mama Liberia. And again, you are listening to and you are watching Action Require Media. Again, we educate, entertain, and empower. Today, we're going to be discussing some serious issue relating to Liberia as well. Now, we are a set of panelists here. We come and share our thoughts, our opinions, and hoping that it falls on fruitful ears. Today's topics we're going to be discussing: Ghanaians and Liberians got the internet on fire. Why? And also we're going to be discussing why Liberia economy is snail crawling and what are some paths to its growth and prosperity. Here to discuss with me, ladies and gentlemen, I have for you Brother Edwin Paul, and I'll have Brother Edwin Paul introduce himself. Brother Edwin.
Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are watching the show around the world. We appreciate you. You could have been anywhere else. My name is Edwin Saiport Jr. I'm a writer, also a contributor to this podcast. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Brother Edwin. And again, ladies and gentlemen, that's Brother Edwin Paul, one of the co-founder of Action Require Media. At this time, we'll thank to Dr. Archibald B. Water to introduce himself. Pastor Waller.
Thank you, CEO, and good afternoon, good evening, um, wherever you are watching us from. It's a pleasure to be here and to know that you are following us. I want to give God glory for each and every one of you. I hope today, Sunday, was a great time worshiping your God and fellowshipping with each other. I'm looking forward to today's conversation. I think we have pretty good topics stand up for us to discuss, and we will appreciate if you can just follow us and share our show, send us your comment, and let us know how we can better improve our platform. It's a pleasure. I look forward to the conversation.
Thank you, Dr. Water, for introducing yourself. And at this time, um, ladies and gentlemen, I am Brother Joseph Brown, the host of Action Require Media. And again, we are here to bring you the news. We are here to entertain, empower, and educate. So at this time, again, before we go into the show, we would like to offer a word of prayer to our Lord and Savior. So at this time, we're going to ask Brother Edwin Paul to give a brief prayer. Brother Edwin.
Oh, let us bow. Father, we thank you. Father, we pray that our message penetrate. We are here as a medium between you and the country. We know Liberia has turned away from you, but we pray that these messages seep into the country. That if somebody that is empowered listening will have a change of mind, uh, so they can make a difference in that country. Thank you, Lord. Amen.
All right, thank you, Brother Edwin, for that wonderful prayer. And again, gentlemen, welcome to the show. We're gonna have a no difference of opinions today, and especially relating to the matters happening on the internet that got the internet on fire. There's a fiery competition going on back and forth between Liberians, Ghanaians, and also the Nigerians. And again, gentlemen, I think to the listener out there too, there's a video, there's a lot of videos circulating the internet about what happened to one of our Liberian brothers in Ghana, where his life was taken, um, you know, brutally by mob violence. And again, gentlemen, I know the videos are pretty long, and we wouldn't have enough time to play the video. but we just go, and play. Maybe I think we should just go ahead and just discuss the video because I know you guys have already seen the video. If anything, we just leave a link. Um, we can just ask people to just go, on our page because it's already shared on our page, so they can discuss it. So, um, let me just give a little brief um, happenings on the internet between Ghanaians and Liberians. So there is a Liberian young man by the name of Austin, 26 years old, that live in Ghana. He worked there. As a matter of fact, he um, called one of his friends, who is also a Liberian, that was living in a gated apartment complex. He called his friend and told him, "I'm coming to visit you." And his friend said, "Okay," but Austin was going with a female friend as well. So, um, so Austin's friend left for school, and he told the security guy, "Hey, I'm leaving my keys with you. A friend of mine is coming. Give him the key." So, to cut a story short, Austin and his female friend got to the complex. Um, when he got there, Austin called his friend, and his friend called the security guy and said, "Hey, my friend is at the complex or at the apartment. Where are you? Can you give him the key?" And then the security guy told him that, oh, he went out to eat, and was taking longer time for him to come back. So Austin and his female counterpart was sitting, was moving around in the apartment complex. Then um, Austin called his friend, and his friend called another friend in the apartment complex, a Nigerian man, and said, "Hey, my friend is out there with his friends. With one of his friends. Can you guys accommodate them? Just keep it in your house until I get back, or when the security man gets back," something to that effect. And the Nigerian guy came out and invited Austin and his female friend into his apartment, but Austin didn't go in, but the female went into the apartment. So Austin decided to just walk around the apartment. And then while he was walking, he saw a lady. She was doing something, some basic work she was doing, and she was pregnant. She is pregnant. And Austin went, I think he touched her, trying to hug her or something like that to that effect. And she started putting on resistance. He said, "Don't touch me. I don't know you," and X, Y, and Z. She decided to call her husband or her boyfriend and told him that somebody is here harassing, not harassing, but yeah, somebody said harassing her. Well, maybe it could be the word that he used, but to that effect. And so her boyfriend now or her husband called the security guy and said, "Hey, somebody is at the apartment complex harassing my wife." And that's how the security guy came running there. He took cutlass and engaged Austin back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And they started going back and forth. But during that period, the pregnant lady, came up to Austin where Austin was, and then he apologized. I think he apologized to the pregnant lady. But all of a sudden, things took a different turn. So when Austin's friend, the lady that was upstairs, came downstairs, they decided to tell Austin, "Hey, let's just leave," because they were asking him to leave. So she told Austin, "Hey, get out of the apartment, stay outside. I'm coming. Let me get the things from in your friend's apartment, and then I can meet you out and we go." But then the the security guy now had a cutlass and ran behind Austin out of the apartment complex. And then while he was running behind Austin, to the effect, because that's what the girl said, there's native language was spoken, and probably it means rogue or thief, you know what I'm saying? So people started chasing him, grabbing and beating up. Now, uh, the pregnant lady boyfriend also called the police. I think she called the police or he called the police, and the police were en route to the apartment, and they stopped at the scene because when they saw the scene, they decided to stop, and they were like investigating the scene. They were investigating the scene, and after that, after the scene, then they went to the apartment complex, and then the lady described Austin, and the police officer were like, "Oh, so this is the guy." But when they rushed into the hospital, before getting to the hospital, he was dead. So that's the story, and I know I didn't explain it too well, but just you know, just for people to grab the understanding of what we're going to be discussing today. Now, the internet is on fire. Ghanaians and Liberians are going back and forth on what happened to Austin. Now, gentlemen, I think you guys have seen some of the comments or heard some of the video or seen some of the videos on the internet. What is happening? I think want for us to discuss it. So, any of you guys want to come in because I know I posted a video, and any of you guys want to come in and let's comment on this video.
First of all, there's a couple of things. Um, Liberian or Ghanaian, I know there are Ghanaian that are advocating for us things in Ghana. Also, we can't ignore the fact that we got a sector of Ghana that is heavily xenophobic towards foreigners. So we need to allow the Ghanaian authority and the laws to take its course. We shouldn't rush the judgment. We shouldn't be spreading disinformation on the internet. It's sad that a young brother life was taken. You can't replace it, but we're trusting the Ghanaian forces and the police officers to go by that law. But this does not reflect good on Ghana as a whole, because this is also be a high skill estate, right? You're in like an upper echelon neighborhood. So why do they have barbaric people so close back to them like that? That disvalue human life. You can see somebody handcuff them, pull in your if you're vigilante, pull in your mini prison until the police arrive, whatever you see fit. Why do they have machetes? Why do they have cutlasses chasing people? Why do you have a barbaric sector of people close to a higher estate, the so-called high income? You don't see these things around like a places like you see professional security, see people well armed. Why do they have the people so close to the high end estate? That's a problem. So Ghana, the Ghanaians, it's incumbent upon them to handle the situation in a way because it's not going to reflect good on them. For especially people that are traveling into the country, they claim to be the freest country in West Africa. So this is not going to reflect. So it's like a three-way thing that people are looking at it. Is you can go to a so-called high-end place, but then you have barbaric people right down the street that can chase you or call us. Is it high-end? Or it's just Ghana. That's a problem. You don't see people with machetes in high end areas, especially people who are paying the kind of prices like Shibi. I know what like Shibi is. So the Ghanaian people, it's upon them. Their image is at stake. And I appreciate the Ghanaian people that are in Ghana that are seeing this injustice and they're trying to manufacture some type of justice in Ghana. But I'm going to rely on the Ghanaian laws, and, I'm confident that they will come up with something correct.
Okay, Dr. Waller.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, CEO. So I first want to extend my profound condolences to Austin's family. I don't know whether he had kids, but I think this is a very sad moment for his family, and the reaction from everywhere concerning this story is an indication that our world has become very cruel, and what we least expect happens in our times today. The second thing I want to point out is that, as alleged, Augustine was not a criminal. He was not a rogue. He was a very decent Liberian man. Although he's outside of his country, uh, but he just went to go visit a friend, and unfortunately, he met his death, which is very, very unfortunate. You know, when I saw the story, one of the things that came to my mind was that, uh, how can we Africans be cruel to one another? We go to other people places, right, that outside of our continent, and we as Africans, we are treated like we don't matter, like we are subhumans. But how can we do that to each other? I don't know how. I don't know how people felt when they saw that video, but it was very disturbing because um, Ghanaians and Liberians, we are no different. We are all Africans. What is Ghanaians? What is Nigerians? What are Togolese, Sierra Leoneans, Ivorians? We are all Africans. There should be no African brother or sister that should feel safe, that should feel unsafe around another African. At least not on the continent. Okay, and I live in Ghana. Okay, I have to admit that during our refugee time in Ghana, Ghanaians were very nice. They were very nice people. They were welcoming people. You know, so to see what happened, I don't want to pick that on the entire, you know, country, because I know Ghanaians are very nice people, right? But we Africans, okay, we have to tolerate each other. We have to love each other. We have to see ourselves as belonging to each other because we are just one people. We might be in different countries, but we are just one people. Ghana is not far from Liberia. Liberia is not far from Ghana. We have Ghanaians in Liberia, a huge Ghana community in Liberia. And if you were to ask them, Liberians are very generous and welcoming towards Ghanaians in Liberia. Right? Why? Because we are just one African people. We always speak of African unity. Well, it had to start with each and every one of us. I want to strongly believe that if Brother Austin could have spoken the truth, I don't think you are going to be treated the way he was treated. I don't think so. For him to have been called, a rogue or a thief, because of some misunderstanding about harassment and stuff like that, it was just very unfortunate. He did not deserve to die the way he did. But I want to join my brother Edwin that says that we are going to, rely on the Ghanaian authority. I know Ghana is a country of laws, not of men, and I expect them to investigate this issue and bring the perpetrators to justice. And that is the least we will expect from the authorities in Ghana. But I think so far they have done well. I think they said about three people have already been arrested.
Four, I think, all
That's a
four of them.
four. Okay, that's a good start. But we shouldn't treat each other like this as Africans. Ghana belongs to Liberia. Liberians belong to Ghana. When we see each other, we should embrace each other. We should appreciate each other because we are all Africans.
Yeah. Um, this is what I would say. I grew up in Ghana too as well. Went to school there. Got my high school education in Ghana. They are wonderful and decent people. But I will tell you this: every country has its own negative side. But I can tell you this does not represent the Republic of Ghana. The population of Ghana is about 35 million plus people, and 1 or 2% or 4% committing a barbaric act, shooting cast doubts on the entire population of Ghana. And I would say this, um, and I believe it, and I believe it. The Ghanaian government have already been involved. They have arrested, um, I think, all four of these guys, and we just say here Ghana is the country of rule of law. So the Ghanaian government are in contact with the Liberian government. So the police department in Liberia released a statement that they are in connection, they are in talk with the Ghanaian police, and they also talk to the Liberian embassy to stay in touch with the Ghanaian government pertaining to these matters. And this, and we all saying the same thing. This is barbaric. It shouldn't be happening. This would have been avoided. But mob violence is taking over Africa. We saw this sometimes last year in Liberia. It was on a rampage. Rampage. Everybody taking justice. Everybody trying to bring justice for themselves. While we have law enforcement body, that is wrong. If you want to be a citizen and you want to do citizen arrest, arrest the person and turn them over to the authority. You don't have the right to kill somebody. I think it's time now that the African countries now, especially Liberia, let's try to figure out how we can stop and start educating people about mob violence. It's not the way to go. You can't take the laws into your hands. Innocent people are dying because of this. It's sad. Again, like I said, I will not say Ghana is a terrible country. Would not say that, and I would not say Liberia is a terrible country. These are two loving countries that have benefited from each other, and they are still benefiting from each other. The fact remains that Liberians, there are Liberians in Ghana that integrated into the Ghanaian system, and we will not be able to root them out. There are Ghanaians who are integrated into the Liberian system. There is no way possible we can get them out. What is happening here is we as people, we have taken this too far, trying to degrade each other on the internet, disgrace each other, talking about what your country is not developed, your country is this, your country is that. We need to stay away from these things and allow the laws to take its place. Again, I trust this and I believe that the Ghanaian government is going to do justice to this. And this will set a precedent for every other African nation. You can't just go about. It don't even have to be a foreigner. Your own citizen, your own people. You can't take the laws into your own hands. Again, to those Liberians out there that are engaged into back and forth with Ghanaians and Nigerians on the internet, I think it's wrong. Please, guys, we are all the same people. We are all the same people. Let us stop doing this on the internet and work together. Let us recognize when there is a wrong, let's speak out the wrong. When there's good thing, let's praise each other for the good thing. We should be talking about trading, economic benefits. How can we benefit from Ghana? How can Ghana benefit from Liberia? Let's start discussing stuff. Important matters. Not to be on the internet tearing each other apart. That is so sad. And go ahead.
Yeah. No, you are definitely right. So I mean, we had drifted far from our founding fathers. I mean, the giants of Pan Africanism.
Yep.
We have driven further away from that. I don't know what a Kwame Nkrumah could have said when he was alive today. To see a mob violence in Ghana for a Liberian to be murdered, a champion of Pan Africanism, a champion of African unity, a champion of once you are an African, you belong to the continent of Africa. To see that perpetrated in Ghana on another African brother, it doesn't represent Africa at all. And when we do the back and forth with each other, with Ghana and Liberia and Nigeria, and what we just makes an opportunity for us to educate our people.
About mob violence,
This
yes.
shouldn't be like this among us. It shouldn't even be named among us as Africans, right? Austin died because there was a breakdown of the rule of law. If you feel threatened by anyone in your community, you call the police.
Call the police.
You don't take matters into your hands.
Or do citizen arrest. You don't have to beat the person.
Call the police. Call the police. Because even arresting the person for the police to come, you don't know, you might have some disgruntled people among you. They may have not gone in your home to burglarize your home. He have not touched any of your property. He have not done anything to you. He wouldn't say a word to you. If you felt unsafe, call the police. And that's simple. And I want to believe that those that perpetrated this act, I think they regret it. I think they are regretting it all.
Yes.
They regretted it. Because this shouldn't
It could have been avoided. It could have been avoided by
there
the
was so
security
many
personnel.
opportunities
By the security personnel.
to have been avoided.
Yes.
And Austin himself, I think he overlooked this entire thing because he did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong. And the fact that he's in Ghana, I think he felt a little comfortable that yes, I am
He felt
among
safe,
my
yeah.
African brothers. You know, they will not take my life because I said something to somebody that made them feel uncomfortable. This shouldn't happen among Africans. We should be each other's keeper. And I'm looking forward to having our leaders address this issue because they can be an opportunity for education for our continent. We saw the same thing in South Africa, right? We saw exactly the same thing happening in South Africa. It shouldn't be like that. We are one continent, we are one people, and we should be each other's keeper.
You know one thing. Don't get me wrong. And some people are just and again, we are biased by nature, and Ghanaians will always stand with Ghanaians. Liberians will always stand with Liberians. But if we want to integrate, if we want to collaborate, or if we want to join forces, or if we want to eradicate the problems, we should be able to speak out. When there's a wrong, there's a wrong. And I applaud all those Ghanaians that are on the internet saying that there should be justice for Austin, that they have never thought that could have happened. And the act was barbaric. So mob violence, that Ghanaians understand it. I would say 1 of 4% of our 35 million people, and people are coming out there and standing with Liberia and asking the Ghanaian government to handle the issue appropriately. And that's a plus. That's a plus for Ghana, and the Ghanaian authority are in control of this, and that's a plus. Again, there could be some way or ways that West Africa or just Africa as a whole to come together and unite and, like Dr. Waller you said, create an education program to teach people that mob violence is not the way. It's not justice. It's not justice. That's why we have rules of laws. That's why we have. That's why we have the police department. That's why we have law enforcement officers. We can't go around taking the laws into our hands. Innocent people are dying. But again, to our Liberians, brothers and sisters, please, please, let us preach unity. Let us preach love. Let us preach respect. Let us preach togetherness. Let us preach our beliefs. Let us preach that the motherland belongs to everybody. And again, um, I don't know, Edwin, do you want to comment or anything?
Well, I just feel like if the Liberian government was smart, if somebody from the Liberian embassy in Ghana would just put like a little post of we're monitoring the situation in Ghana, we're working with the police, something like that, some type of statement. But I I'm yet to hear
But
anything.
the
So
Liberian police, the Liberian National Police did. They said when they released out the statement that they entrust the Liberian embassy in Ghana to stay in communication with the
this is not
um,
the Liberian police job, bro. That's the ambassador.
no, no, no. But the
It's a
Liberian police
foreign
are in
thing.
connection. What I'm saying, the Liberian police are in connection with the Ghanaian national police. But there's a statement that was released from the Liberian Police Department saying that the Liberian embassy should stay in touch with the Ghanaian National Police. And again, that's how that's how it should be. We should work together. Let allow our leaders to to decide, what happened. Let's trust them to be able to deliver to us, and let justice be done. But again, we can't go around, making claims and fighting on the internet. It's not a good thing for Africa as a whole, and especially with the relationship we have Liberia and Ghana, have together. And again, the relationship will stay regardless of our fight on the internet. Ghana and Liberia relationship will last long. And again, that's just what I see, and I'm just encouraging every one of us. Let us be a part of a change. Let us be a part of a great change. You know. So, gentlemen, so what is the lesson to be learned from this?
The lesson is Africans are not united no matter where you want to stay, no matter how you want to dress it. Ghana just happened to be one of the most peaceful. So they're gonna handle this situation. But you cross over and go to Togo, it's a similar situation. You go to Benin, similar situation. The tribalism, it's too much in Africa. That's why Africa is what it is right now. Even if Liberia is struggling with economic issues, people should be able to go over to Cote d'Ivoire and work, or you should be able to go to Ghana and work freely, or you can have a contact with them. But people don't, Africans don't have free movement like that in Africa. Whether we want to lie to ourselves or not, that's just the truth. Ghana just seems to be a little better than most African countries. The lesson is Africa is not united.
Okay, the water.
Um, so I just, you know, maybe because of the time that I grew up in, but we have devalued human life to an extent that killing a human being now is nothing to our generation, most especially the younger generation. But Joe, it took God everything to give life. When God breathed into the nostrils of man, he emptied himself into man. And the Bible says man became a living soul. Life is from God. We have devalued human life so much so that killing a fellow human being is just nothing to our generation now. How we have fallen so low. What have happened to us? Why have we become so cruel to ourselves? The same blood that runs in your veins is the same blood that runs in mine. I'm hoping that we will begin to see each other not just as blacks or Africans, but as people that are created in the image of God, that have dignity and that have a purpose, a God given purpose. I wish that we come to that place to just value human life, most especially African lives. We are falling too low. And and Brother Joe, I hope that Austin's death shouldn't be one of the deaths that just form part of the statistics. It should achieve something. It should mount for something. Because we don't want these things to continue to happen in our various countries. If it is a Ghanaian, it's a Liberian, it's Nigerian, Ivorian, Sierra Leonean, whatever it is, he or she is a creation of God, created in the image of God. And I hope we can see that. I hope we see people as we see ourselves. So this just tells us that we have fallen too low. We have fallen too low. How we have devalued human life. And what it would take for us to get back to what we used to be, we have to just pray for our continent and pray for everybody. And I pray for the Austin family that they will hold on, they will keep strong, and that God will take them through these times.
Thank you, Dr. Water. Thank you, Dr. Water. Um, I think this issue has brought out so many differences that we have held against each other for a long period of time. So this just brought them out, and it speaks to the fact that we as African, like what Edwin said, we are not united, and we cannot speak in one accord. Um, and it's true that those happenings are not uh, a bigger fraction of the population of each country. So again, if we ignore this, it's going to spread like a wildfire. I think it's a lesson learned for us now to understand that we need to be together. We need to come together. When it's a bad, we speak out the bad. When it's a good, we praise the good. Wherever we can join together to unite and make things better for us, we should. But I think now the leaders of Africa or West Africa should come together and understand that we don't need this. We don't need to be fighting on the internet. We don't need to be fighting because something happened. But we can speak out. But let's tell the international community that we have rules of law, and we can manage and handle our affairs by ourselves. And justice will be done to the fullest, regardless who are involved or which country is involved. But justice should be done. And again, it is my hope and prayer that we come together and just put our differences aside and work together. And again, I want to say thank you to those people who are out there speaking out the truth, regardless of your nationality. Let's hold together. Let's believe that democratic form of government, a democratic form of ruling can work in Africa as a whole. And again, Gentlemen, if we don't have anything else to discuss, we're gonna move on to the next topic. Anybody want to climb out on the thing before we move on to the next topic? We have about 20 more minutes or 25 more minutes to discuss the next topic. Anything somebody want to clear?
I
I
think
think,
we should move forward. We said enough.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. All right, so gentlemen, now it brings us to Mama Liberia. So if we look at the Liberia economy, it has never been better to a point where Liberians have elevated, to middle class citizen, um, affecting the population. Maybe 5% of the population or 10% of the population. Just my own calculation, middle class citizen in Liberia, and the rest of the people are living on a poverty level or rate. Again, Liberia has been doing businesses in and out of the country. Why is it that Liberia economy is snail crawling? Will there be a time that we will see economic growth and prosperity in our country where about 50% of the population will rise to a Western world middle class level? Again, we are here to discuss what are some of the things that are affecting Liberia economic growth and economic prosperity. Do you think we need to redefine the way we do business in and out of Liberia? Gentlemen, again, I would say this. It's just the politicians in Liberia who have access to better life in our country than the rest of the citizens. So again, what are we doing wrong? I know we are not economists, but I did post some topics for us to go through and discuss. Maybe our meaningful contribution can make a change in Liberia.
Let me start with this one.
Okay.
Because to be honest with you, that this is one of the major issues we discuss on our platform. Uh, the economic viability of the Liberian society, because I think that is our way of taking a lot of our citizens out of poverty when we are able to build a 21st century version of our economy. We know the problems in our country. We know the crises we have had. We know the deficiency that we have. Okay, there is no Liberian that who does not know what we are going through in the country. Our economy it's now reaching the lowest of the lowest of Liberians. The people that are benefiting from this economy is or are people that are in the upper class, right? There is no middle class. We just have the upper class and the desperately poor Liberians. Okay. So we have advocated, we have spoke a lot about what needs to be done to build our economy. We know the problems, right? So I think what we need now to talk is who can we trust to lead Liberia to develop the kind of economy that we need? Because the problems are obvious. For me, it doesn't man up much if we just talk about the problems we have and we don't have any attempt of doing something about those problems. We know the problems. Like see the article you put in the group chat. I was reading this article, and this is an article from the World Bank, from the IMF, and even in collaboration with the Liberian government. So everything that is in the article that was put forward, the Liberian government did not disagree with it. In fact, most of the suggestions came from our government. So we know the problems. Who can lead us to solving these problems? I think that should be, our focus now, because the Unity Party led administration with President
Sir.
Boakai, I am not seeing any tangible plans or any tangible, you know, development that will help us to build the economy that we need that will provide job for Liberians. I haven't seen that. The CDC, for the past 6 years, the CDC did not do that. The Unity Party is not driving in that direction. Now we need to actually coalesce around someone, identify someone who will be able to do that for us. That's what is important for me now. For everything that is indicated in this article, that is something we all know about. We know it. We identify it. We agree with it. Yes, we agree 100%. We can lead us to solve this problem. That is where I am now today.
Okay, but let me ask you the question though. So, we let identify some key issues, some key economic stagnation in our country, and we have done these things over and over and over. It has yielded to nothing, and especially the way we go about doing the export of our raw materials. Um, our export, that's what we rely on heavily for our financial strength. And again, we export most of our natural resources, and that money brought into the country is used to pay salaries and take care of other things. But some of the fund, or most of the funds, are even little of the funds are not even spread to the citizens. Now, can we continue on doing business like that from 1847 to now, and we keep repeating the same thing, but there's no progress? How much are we getting from this export?
Yeah,
No, no surplus. We're
right.
just managing
So,
to pay
so,
salaries.
so see, well,
Edwin,
let me.
okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
before my brother Edwin comes. Okay. So in an article, it says what? Liberia is too dependent on mining and export. You
Yep,
spoke about that. Trade and investment, there has to be a massive reform
yep,
in Liberia on that. And then they also talk about human capital, the need for
yes.
better education and healthcare. But and then what really caught my eyes is that uh, two possible futures: stagnation or growth.
Mm-hmm.
Business as usual scenario will give us stagnation,
Yeah,
okay? But reform scenario will give us,
a better
you know,
future.
a better future.
Yep,
But but what are we seeing now? We
stagnation
are seeing business as usual.
as usual.
Business as usual. And business as usual, according to the Liberian government, the World Bank, and the IMF, according to them, they say business as usual will provide stagnation for
Yep.
our economy. And what we see now is business as usual. See, that's what I said. Where I am now is
Uh-huh.
someone that can lead us. We need a leader that can lead us out of this mess. If we cannot coalesce around someone to help us, lead our country to develop a viable 21st century version of our economy, business as usual will produce the result we get today.
I I don't want to cut you off. I want Edwin to come in, but I just want to say something. The Ghanaian president, he just spoke. I think sometimes, maybe a week ago or two, he was making a remark. He said, "It will come a time where where Ghana will not export the raw product or the raw material, but they will export finished product." He said, "They're working on it. They're working on it."
Well,
And that's a
Burkina Faso
plus.
is doing it.
Huh?
Burkina Faso is doing it.
Yep. And that's a plus. If they can do that, that's a plus. And that's where we need to be going at. That's create jobs. With the fact, if that is happening, you strengthening your citizen purchasing power. You're enabling them to be able to take their own burden on their own shoulder, where they'll be able to afford food, homes, medical expenses. Come on now, Edwin, go ahead.
Um, I think we laid out the different economic factor and what Liberian government can do to at least initiate or kickstart something economic for leadership. I think we've been on that for a very long time. I think the problem in Liberia is lack of godliness because if the people at least let me tell you all the country around the world the government they corrupt some type of way, but if you have a little bit of fear for God, because a fear for God can lead to servant based leadership. So a servant based leadership put people into their place. They don't sleep at night because they believe in serving people, they want to solve problems for them. So lack of godliness, and and then we're not the leadership. They're not there to serve. And then the most important thing in a water front is being non-patriotic. Non-patriotic, it means I can send my children to school in different countries so the other people I can call any dude and don't worry about the future. That's what led to all of this stagnation and doing business as usual because they don't care about their constituents, the people that voted in. They don't care about solving problem because Liberia, unlike any other country in Africa, is at a vantage point when it comes to jump starting anything economic wise. Why? Because you see the example of all the other countries what it did well. You can look at that, and you don't even have to go look at something and breed anything for your own idea. You just look at other countries because we are in the 21st century. People are all the way on the technology stage when it comes to economics. You haven't even passed the agricultural stage. So you have a vantage point to look at everybody else and just do a little bit similar to them and consult with people. If you think Ghana is too big, consult with Togo. Cote d'Ivoire right there. It's obviously Cote d'Ivoire is doing something that works. The people that are selling cocoa, my uncle who had a cocoa farm all the way in the village in Ivory Coast. The French people used to drive from down from all the way in the city to drive over there and go measure that cocoa on scales. It's a system that Cote d'Ivoire created so the farmers can get that pay. It doesn't matter where they are located in the electricity everywhere. You know Ghana from Takoradi all the way there's electricity. So you have servant based leadership. You have people that are selfless, selfish, no selflessness, but selfish based leadership. That's how we got here. Everybody in the government, like, bro, they're not stupid. Not everybody can say, "Oh, I want to solve." Nobody want to solve a problem. They're not patriotic. Once they get the money, that children are able to go to school out of the country, they can send export the money out of the country. That is fine with them. They don't care about the people that elected them, because if there's care, there's gonna be some type of candidness to be candid with their own constituency. This is the problem. We can fix it, or some type of thing to say, let's create some type of job. Some people start living like this. Or same thing that says, so we don't know how to create jobs. Let's just do a massive reform education so we can develop human capital. The older people, you go to trade schools. You can go over and you don't need buildings. Put tarpaulin over here 3 times a day. Older people go learn this trade. Older people go learn the trade. You go to night school if you ashamed to go to school 3 times a day like India did. People see the kind of movement, feed that people want to go to school. It's going to be a short term, but once the people are educated, you're not smarter than everybody in the country. If the people got education and people can create ingenuity in different fields, the job where you can't even create, maybe they can create for you. But we don't have servants-based leadership in the country. They're not serving the people. They want people to serve them. And they're not patriotic enough to say, I don't want to live anywhere else. And Liberian politicians are over there, they're okay with everything over to move over here and spend the rest of the money.
Yep.
They don't have that mindset like Jerry John Rawlings, born and die in Ghana. They don't have that mindset. That's what we are here. We can keep talking the same thing over and over. These people, I don't know. You never hear anybody on anything like that. Nobody say, let's start a little reform. One school. We're gonna do 1,000 students in the whole country. All the smart mind, 1,000 students, y'all go to so place. Maybe you can start from there. We don't hear about anything like that. Then it goes on. Before you go to the yellow machine appear. The beginning of the year, when the president gave his speech, he doesn't give you an outline what they have planning for the year, what they're gonna do. They don't give you a breakdown. They're just doing stuff willy nilly all over the place because they don't have a plan, and they get mismanaging, balancing out, but getting more debt. They're borrowing more. Whatever deal they sign with the iron ore company, they're already almost in the negative before they sign the deal. So now, because if you can go to a deal table in debt, then the person that is cutting the deal is at advantage because everybody do that research before they sit on a deal table. They say the man is in debt, so I'm gonna lowball you. I'm gonna get you 25% interest. But if they know you're comfortable, they can get you 7% or 2% interest. But they know that you're desperate, you gotta do that due diligence. Then they're gonna give you a bad deal, and they've been signing bad deal upon bad deal because they're always in debt before they go to the deal table. That's how we got here in the first place. So we need a patriotic person, that is not clever enough, that is not economic wise enough, can jumpstart things in our country in a heartbeat. We need somebody
Okay.
that is a Liberian and Liberian own it.
Okay. This is why I would say to the problem going on right now in Liberia, especially with the economy. I think um, the standard of living or the cost of living in Liberia is affordable, but you have government officials getting paid as the Western world, especially the United States. You pay your senator just how you pay your senator in the United States. Now, the cost of living here is high, while the cost of living in Liberia is low. So, why should these lawmakers get paid equivalent to the lawmakers in the United States? That's a problem. And another problem, what I see again, is we have a large government. We need to downsize the government. For 5 million plus people, I think the government is too large. We don't have the funds to be able to pay these people and create businesses or create infrastructure or to build human capital. We do not have the finance. We need to downsize on the government. Maybe just one senator, one representative for each county. Now, moving forward, let's talk about agriculture. Liberia staple food, rice. Every year, we spend about $200 million on the import of rice. Now, if we can just go down to the soil and invest into producing food that we can eat in our country, that is going to be affordable, that nobody is going to go hungry at night. Our child is not going to go hungry because we have surplus of food, our own staple food. That's a problem. If you cannot feed yourself, you continue struggling. You will continue struggling. Every great nation feed themselves. That's the first thing they did. Invest into agriculture. And after that, they started exporting. Why we buying rice from China, India, when we have when we have a fertile land? I see it's a problem. A darkness, a cloud is over Liberian parliament. And again, I will stop right there. I think most of you guys already said the human capital part of it. Now, the question here to you guys, one of the articles from World Bank also talked about Liberia economic update, unlocking private sector, job creation, true firm growth, expanded production and policy alignment. So we need good policy in our country that will help grow our economy. We need the government to invest into infrastructure, buildings, factories. We need the government to invest into security. Security matters. Who wants to go to Liberia and take $5 billion to go invest and you have more violence? You have people running into the stores, looting. No current. Current come today. It leave in the afternoon for 3 hours. Gone for 12 hours. Come back for 1 hour. Come on, man. Look. It is sad though. It's so sad. Ghana has proven that they are getting to where they want, where they are heading. We can't even provide electricity for ourselves. From 1847. And there's one thing I would say again. I blame the Ellen government for 12 years, where she had all the money coming into the country. She could have revamped that dam or even built something better. But no, no, no. These politicians, they are only there to enrich themselves and their family. I think it need to come to a point where we have the assets recovery. Assets recovery shouldn't be on Liberian people spearheading it. That brings some brutal people, that would just do due diligence for Liberia. Again, Liberians are Liberians' problem. I'll stop there.
All right, but Brian, you said something very profound about the salaries. Have you heard any? This, I can hear this sedition that you people say, Mr. Cohen's a good man, so you shouldn't just charge him about this. Have you heard anybody say, I'm going to donate my whole salary to the poorest community in this country? All of us, we
Yes,
need to take a pay
some
cut.
some of the representatives have done that. They have taken their salary and cut it into half and gave to the some of the constituents, the very poor people, and he does that. I just forgot his name. He does that monthly. It's a young guy.
And God bless. Yeah, God bless. It has to be a young person. It's not going to be an older, chronic person. But the thing is, if you ask me, the Liberian government only need maybe like 150 employees to tell you the truth. You can deputize the people in the
Yes,
county to take the other
yes,
jobs.
yes,
And 150 jobs for all the so-called places, and then all the surroundings in the different county, whatever around the possible place, you employ the high school student or the college student over there. You deputize everybody, so that everybody can get a little bit of piece of the elephant meat.
yeah.
But why you got all these people doing nothing, they're passing no policy, uh, there's nothing on security to attract foreigners to bring job. And even if you can create a job, you need to create some type of security. Let me
Yep.
tell you, building electricity is very tough. It's not an easy thing. So you can just say, oh, so that's a thing. But what you can do is, and especially Ellie has I do her terrace, her own mill. If you have a good security, it can attract people and it can build
Investors.
private sector electricity. So if the Liberians have their own money to fix their own dam, if they have a good security portion, steel portion, go outside, it's peaceful. Somebody can be in America, they can be in Germany, they can be in Holland and say, I can build a dam over here. And while they're building the dam, they can create job in the process because people got to pay for the electricity. So you can create a third party, but you need a good security. But they're not doing anything that I've got to build. That's very expensive. But they got people all over the world that got money like air. They want to go invest that money
But
places. They're like, bro, the
but
risk
Edwin,
assessment is so high.
what I would say to you, electricity is also a national security issue. I think it should be led by the government of that country. So, if you want to have a third party come in where they can have access to distribution of electricity, where they can have the meters and make sure current is, have a lot of transformers step down and up, step up transformer where they can make the current efficient. That's fine. But I think every electricity grid and stuff. They are all
Electricity.
national. Uh, Go ahead.
No, electricity. You're right. You're 100% correct. Electricity is national security. But when these people come in, you can monitor it. Like most half of the electricity in New York provided by Canada. It's not provided by America. It's coming from Canada. So you can monitor. You can pull a blanket over it to monitor everything, so somebody don't do anything in fire or something. But you can
Yeah.
sit there and say, "I can provide my own stuff," but you don't know how to do it. And then, right now, soon the rainy season over, Like
That's it.
I talking to people in like, bro, every second I current going, every second they go from the fan running to sweating in 30 minutes. It's like a heart attack electricity. It's like 1 second they're on, they're chilling, the fan running before you go to poof, it gone, it start blowing itself. I said, how you guys do that in that country?
You see,
How
but
about
these are
Pastor
these are
One
the
you tell
issues
me?
Liberians in Liberia will be talking about. But they did so down to the political party, and so they're so glued and so, I don't know, firm to the political party. There is nothing negative can be said about the party, and they get angry. They want to fight. I mean, it's wrong again. But Tata Wallo, do you want to say anything? We have about maybe 10 more minutes to be here.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
hear you.
So, yeah. So, just a few things. One about the people being very sensitive to their political party. That's true. Liberians will rather have their parties do well and Liberia do bad,
Too bad, yeah.
and they will be okay with it.
Yep.
Okay, you belong to a particular political party. You don't see any wrong that party has done. When we speak of the opportunity that have been given to the CDC and they were not able to utilize, citizens, get angry. The same thing with the Unity Party,
Yep.
the opportunities that have been given by the Liberian people, and they have not been able to capitalize on those opportunities to make Liberians' lives better. You talk about it, Unity Party people get angry. So that's the thing. But my brother Edwin spoke about education as one of the major, issue that we're supposed to actually prioritize in our country. Currently, the illiteracy rate, if I am not mistaken, the last time I checked was 48%. National illiteracy rate, 48%.
That's high.
Almost half of Liberians are illiterate, right? And he spoke about something that is just very, 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 very common that shouldn't take no time to do. Night school. Working people, you just make night school available, right? For people in the rural areas, for people in the urban communities, night school, people that are working, people have to go hustle, they come by, they can go to school, right? It does not even have to be all of the 13 to 14 subjects that we take. It can just be the basic ones. And just to address this issue of illiteracy, there are people, my brothers, there are people that did not have a college degree, but because they developed a habit of reading, so they were able to actually do things that even people with college degrees they were not able to do. To just give our people the basic. I want you people been following. They gone graduation
Oh.
from the LU.
Oh.
The LU graduate speeches. You listen to it. You will say, "Wow, our country. Where are we going to, my people?" Right? We gave education, but a very substandard. We don't prepare our students for the real world. Okay, that's why productivity in the country is just very, very poor. Liberian students are not able to initiate anything by themselves. Critical thinking in a day, better analysis of information in a day. We don't have it. So we just teach our students to just make grades, and then
I
we
think I
put them
think when
up.
you say it's not there is me that maybe 30% or 40% of the population. I mean, once I go into school, cannot analyze. But
Yeah, I mean, Roger, what I'm saying is the way we prepare our students, they are not able to even better articulate anything, for you to really understand. Look at the speeches
yeah,
that
that's true.
graduates have been giving. For you to read a speech as a graduate from a university, if it is a problem, then you will be able to analyze a document that is given you. You can even read.
Why are you not eating rice so you can aid your pronunciation?
Oh, my brother. But what I'm saying is education is just very important. Our workforce are not trained. We don't have skillful workforce. If anybody take a company to Liberia, they have
Oh,
to build roads, they have to develop skills for workforce, they have to provide their own electricity. All of this is it's just too much. It's discouraging. It's not. That's why when the people come to our country,
they
right?
treat you the way they
And
treat you.
we read about these. We read about these concession agreements. That's why the people want to take a lot and give us little because they just have very a lot to do, and we are giving them just very little. Besides the mineral we are giving them, nothing else. We don't have the workforce. We don't have the infrastructure. We don't have
The road
nothing.
network, nothing.
We don't have nothing. So they just take our minerals and just give us very little. Look, if I will advise any president, you get into power, the first thing you do is you bring to a halt all money or activities. Bring it to a halt. Because we are just taking these minerals and it's not benefiting the country. Those minerals are going to run out, they're going to finish.
Yep.
What will we tend to?
What the
What will we
Buffett said
tend
when you're
to?
on it on his show, he said like we're gonna get 3% back out of everything. That what
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Buffett said.
Yep.
Yeah.
What will we tend to? You know, look, bring a halt to all mining activities, turn the country to agriculture. Let's use our soil. We cannot go out of soil. Let agriculture drive our economy. Let's put a lot into agriculture. It will provide jobs.
But that Wallo, I think we had a conversation before, and Edwin said something, and we're all laughing that we're talking about. He was talking about um, something, and he said we should put, I know, a Lebanese man over the African rice, Liberian rice, and say something funny. We all laugh with it, but it's true. The country, the people are so dependent on foreign products. That's all they eat. These guys don't want to eat. They don't want to eat the ground beef from the I'll call it ground beef now. We take one of the ground and body or something, but they want to take the one in the bottle that is tend to finished product and put it in the
Yeah,
bread
the groundnuts.
and put yeah. What I'm saying, the peanut butter now. That's what they
Yeah.
want to take, but they don't want to eat. Look, I'm not saying they don't want to eat it, but I'm just saying that we have gotten so used to eating westernized food, then we just now most people now want to go to the supermarket now and go buy fish from the freezer so they can say, oh, they walk into the supermarket. Okay, so they don't want to go to the river side where the guys just brought a fresh fish, organic fish, say and eat. But they're like, oh, I gotta go to the supermarket to go buy stuff. You know what I'm saying? But again, hey,
But Dr.
until
Dr. Waller said, Dr. Waller said the literacy rate was 45% or 48%. I don't know which
48,
number was that.
it is 48
I
is right.
disagree.
No, it
I
is.
disagree. I
I
think
just look
the
it up.
literacy rate is at 82%, Brown.
No, I just look it up. Is 48 to 50.
No, Brown. Let's break this down. Let's forget the so-called 45 or 52% I would say they're educated. Can they analyze? Can they critical think? You got people got S buy in the houses. They rather go buy ice cube in the place. Does that look like an educated person to you? Like people that can actually look at things and make their own decision. Even in America, right here, I
They
seen
want.
a guy driving a Hyundai. The Hyundai paper said you can put regular gas in it. And say you put in premium gas in it so your engine can stay long. You think Liberian literacy rate is at 45%? I disagree. I'm sorry, I don't deal with that so-called educated people. They
That's
don't know
that's
how to
what
analyze and critically think.
that's
When that
that's the
camel
men
go off
believe.
in a home, they call in the plumber. In America here, camel go out, they call in the plumber. So much little thing happen in the house, they calling somebody. So how will you go to school and you're not applying it to life? That's the reason why you are lucky to be more than other people because you went to school. Brown were on the camp over there. We're already problem solving on a high boulevard camp. We're problem solving. It might not be at a higher level, but because we're going to school learning life skills, so we're applying it to our level, we're problem solving what we want to camp.
All right,
So
gentlemen.
all the graduates that we have, you telling me they're illiterate? They're not illiterate? I can I
All right.
can I can I can come out with 100 master's degree or whatever right now. Then I send you an email.
Please
Then you tell me what
don't
are
call
you
that
interested
name.
in.
Don't call that
I'm
name.
not calling it. I'm not calling it.
All right, gentlemen. I think we have reached our time, and again, it was a great conversation. And again, we will just go around 2 minutes each, and we have our closing remark, and then we look forward to next Sunday. Um, who want to go next? Who want to go first? You want me to go first?
I can go first.
All right, Dr. Waller.
Yeah, thank you. Thank guys. CEO, thanks for the moderation, bro. Edwin, thanks as well for your contribution. And thank you guys for following us again. We would like to hear from you. Please send us your comments. We discussed two very important issues. There were other things we couldn't get to today, like the former president's speech to the legislature. She said some very important and remarkable things that we would have loved to, discuss, but because of the time we had today, we couldn't. Um, and so, but I think we'll have the opportunity for us to do that next time.
Yes.
Um, I want to appeal to all Liberians. You know, you are right to be angry. You are right to vent your frustration and your anger, and you should have a space to do that. The Ghanaians need to understand that Liberians are angry because one of us has passed in a very unfortunate way. It doesn't mean that Liberians hate Ghanaians. It doesn't mean that Liberians blame the entire Republic of Ghana. A lot of Liberians see themselves in Austin. It could have been one of us, you know, and the reaction from Liberians is our way of venting that we we disapprove and we disagree with the way in which Austin was murdered. So let us have our space to vent our frustration, to vent our anger. Let's have that. At the end of the day, we know that the Ghanaian authority going to make sure that Austin get justice, that the rule of law will be followed, and because we know Ghana to be a country of law, not of men. But I extend my profound condolences to the Austin family. Your son, your brother, your nephew, whoever he is to you, did not deserve to be murdered. He was not a criminal. Yes, he was a very decent man. So we just want to extend, on behalf of our platform, want to extend our condolences to you. Our country can be a better country. We need to find a leader that can help us to do that. Right now, we haven't found that leader yet. We need to find a leader that can lead us into this 21st century version of our economy. Someone that can help us to create that. Look, Liberians, when it comes to economics, when it comes to your life, it surpasses politics. Politics should be for the better good of the people. But what we have seen over the years, our politics have become the better good for the elites, for the political class, not for you, not for your children, not for your children's future. So right now, I want you to just think about yourself and think about your children. What will become of their future? What will become of them? That's what you need to think about. Someone that will be there for all Liberians. Someone that you can give this job of the presidency to, but that will not see it as a job for themselves, will see it as an opportunity for them to give you a job. They will see it as an opportunity for them to give you a better life. They will see it as an opportunity for them to provide a future for your children. That is the kind of leader that we want. And that is the kind of leader that we should look for. We have tried a unity party. They are not giving us what we want. President Bwaga have done some good things. But what we want is an economy that can provide a private sector for Liberians to get jobs, for Liberians to start working. There are people in our country, since they were born, now they are adults. They have never had a job. They have never had the opportunity to even work in their lives. I mean, just think about that. Is that life? We need to change that. According to the World Bank, IMF, and the Liberian government, a status quo, if we continue to do things as it is, business as usual, it will keep us stagnated and we wouldn't grow. We need to choose a path of reform to build a better future for all of us and for our children. And it is our responsibility for us to do that, every one of us. You can be in a political party, but if the political party is not providing the platform that can help Liberia prosper, you can be in a political party, but yet you can vote for someone else. That is your right to do that. You owe it to your country. And so thank you for joining us. Thank you very much. And we look forward to talking to you again.
All right. Brother Edwin, 1 minute, please.
Yeah, I think Dr. Wallace said everything. Thank you, fellow panelists. I appreciate especially the consistency from us, because with something you just need one video or something to permeate, and then everybody can go back and start listening to everything else. So I appreciate the consistency. I think Dr. Wallace said everything when it comes to the Ghanaian situation. I don't need to add to that. The economy, he said everything. Um, I think we need to get in contact with some type of student leadership back there that is in the scene. Maybe one of these Sunday and bring them on the show and see what they really think that is valuable to them. Maybe we can start making that a series. We don't want to make it all boys. We can make it girls. We can contact them. Maybe if they have data issue, we can put money together and give them a data so they can come on the show.
That's good.
So we want to ask them what is very important to them because they are the Liberian people that are living it. You know what I mean? We can be up here trying to shoot what we want to shoot, but they're the one living it in their day-to-day life. Because maybe we can transfuse the message to them because they're local. And then because they have proximity, maybe we can transfuse the message to them. I think for being able to do stuff, to me, because I believe in doing, that might be your action that might actually do something. If you can get in contact with one of these people. But thank you guys for watching.
Thank you. Gentlemen, Dr. Waller, thank you. Brother Edwin, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, have a blessed and wonderful Sunday. See you next week.